Good morning, welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, it's one of those mornings when the chickens are in a good voice and you'll be hearing a lot from them. They're nothing to do with the video, but they're a fact of life up on our little place in the hills. So, one of the things that I just have to feel I'm compelled to talk on further, and that is an update on Baby Jane. Well, Baby Jane, for those, I'm looking at the comments and it's very clear that a lot of people who are commenting don't actually know much about the case of Baby Jane. This is not a story of a normal child having a severe fall and breaking a leg. That's not the story. The story of Baby Jane goes back a little while for us. We went a few months, and we went when Baby Jane needed help. We actually were delivering some good news, and I noticed that there was a slight deformity in one of the legs of Baby Jane. Now, to cut a long story short, the information emerges that she has a condition called Osteogenesis Imperfecta. I didn't know this until one of our subscribers, who is a knowledgeable man, actually wrote to me and told me this is what Baby Jane has. All that we knew was that Baby Jane needed help. Well, when we found this out, we thought that we could do something about this. Now, it turns out that the condition is virtually incurable. As the same man who told us that this is the name of the condition, he said that even if she was in America, this is virtually incurable. They're not having a great deal of luck. Now, I'm sure somebody out there is going to say, well, if she does this and she does that, it'll be cured. Okay, thanks for your concern, and we appreciate the comments. As long as they're good, in good, I don't know, in good spirits. Like, now, if you look at the videos of Baby Jane where we walked towards the house, what I urge you to do is to look at the whole picture. Now, the whole picture will tell you more about what this mother is going through than any preconceived idea you may have about a simple story of a kid falling, breaking a leg, and not getting the treatment that she deserves. We're not in America, we're not in the UK, there isn't a quality high-tech hospital around the corner. We're out in the middle of nowhere. We're on a tiny island of Bohol. It has what I call a humble, this is what I see it as, okay, as a Westerner. It's a very modest grassroots hospital in the small town of Taliban. Well, we took the child there, and it was less than ideal. We're not making any excuses for that, but this is life in a small island in the Philippines. We're thousands of miles away from most of you who are in a comfortable chair with a hospital and all of those other luxuries, and they are luxuries, of modern life. Look at the house that we showed Baby Jane was in when we did our videos. Look at the house, right? These people have nothing, and they have no recourse for expensive treatment. Now, the last time that we tried to help Baby Jane, it emerged that that same doctor who wrapped her leg when we went to Ubay, this time with this break, the same doctor said there are injections which might help. Cost of these injections is 20,000 pesos a hit. Now, 20,000 pesos, my math is not so great, but it's up there in a couple of $100, I think. You have to understand that these, if you went and asked this mother, could I just borrow 50 pesos until I go to the bank today, she'd say, 50? I don't have 50 pesos. We're talking to you from a world in which if you go to a local sari-sari store, they might have to look around to be able to change a 100 peso note. Even if you go in Taliban and present a 500 peso note, 500 pesos, it's just a few dollars, but they would have to go out to get change. They operate so close to the no money situation, even when they're doing business, that it should make you realize how desperate the situation of this mother was. Now, she doesn't know and cannot pronounce the word Osteogenesis Imperfecta. She doesn't know that it's called that. She knows that her child, and it runs in the family, it's a hereditary condition, and she knows that it's not curable. She knows that all that she could ever hope for is to just take care of the child, wrap the break whenever it should happen, and it will happen again, as best she can, go to what is commonly known as a faith healer who will massage. Don't even tell me about what it would be like for a compound fracture to be massaged by an untrained person. It doesn't bear thinking about. And yet this incredibly brave child was not complaining, was not crying, was not making a fuss, which, gee whiz, I think if I had a compound fracture below my knee, I'd be crying, I'd be complaining, and she wasn't. I held this little girl, seemingly for the rest of the day, and she never complained, and she never cried, she never, nothing. She just let me hold her, and I walked around from this place to that place in the hospital, trying to get some help. And they had texted the doctor who had treated her a little while ago, and he came in specially to treat baby Jane, and he wrapped the wound. And he said that it would take surgery at a later date. Now, try to get this and understand this. At a later date, possibly when baby Jane is like 18 years old. So straightening, putting pins and other science fiction treatment is not going to happen for baby Jane. The bad news is she's going to break things again. She didn't fall out of a tree when she broke this leg. She was using a skipping rope. Doesn't that tell you everything? So look at the whole picture. Withhold on non-understanding. Forget that you're in a Western world with all of the luxuries of fine medical treatment on hand, probably in a country where it's actually illegal for a hospital not to treat a child. If you can hold back on all of that and see that this is a third world country and that we are doing the best we can, and it doesn't help to use words like stupid, abusive, neglectful when you talk about this mother who hasn't got 100 pesos to her name. 100 pesos is $2. $2! We discovered baby Jane had this fracture when we went round there, courtesy of Patch, one of our subscribers who supports baby Jane for vitamins, and we take around a syrup which is a multivitamin and which baby Jane can take, and sometimes we take extra rice, sometimes we take milk, and we do what we can for this child. Now, don't talk to me about, well, the real problem is birth control. We're in a Catholic country. Birth control is not on the agenda right now. Right. There's not... How do you think, if you think it's okay to use what I consider useless, non-productive language when you describe in your comments about this mother, you use that language freely and it's up there. I'm not going to leave it up there if it's too abusive. Sorry, I'm not going to do that because it's not helping. Think of it this way. How about if I went in and talked to this woman and said, "You did what? You left it a week? Don't you... Are you stupid? Don't you know..." That's the language that some of you are using. How would I ever get in the door of any house to be able to help children? Right, we're talking about children here. We're not talking about the wares and the woes and the fears of the mother, although the focus has gone on that. We're talking about a little girl, and we're talking about the need. When I went round there, I'm afraid that I did show that I was being, well, a little testy, shall we say, with the mother when I said, and I shouldn't have said this, and I'm happy that Beth watered it down when she relayed on to the mother, when I said, if this was your leg, wouldn't you have called us? Well, I'm only human, and boy, it's a knife in the heart when I see a little girl is sitting there with a broken leg, 2 bones broken. It's a compound fracture. I'm not a doctor. I know that there's a compound fracture and 2 bones from the knee down. I know these things, and I'm as furious as anybody else, but this is a different world. It's the same planet. It's a different world. Please understand that she has a special condition. Understand that next week, or the week after, or the month after, in January or February, we may be going through exactly this same thing with this little girl, because she's a little girl and she wants to use a skipping rope. A little understanding and a lot of tolerance, and appreciate the fact that you are privy to very simple lives. Ours is not. We set off thinking that we would have a YouTube channel showing our simple life. Ours is not the simple life. The people with nothing, theirs is the simple life. And to misinterpret that the woman, the mother's upset was concealed and veiled behind smiles and nervous laughter, and to not understand that, really, you critics are not paying attention. Time to do that. Time to respect the fact that you are looking into another world that is so far from where you live in so many ways that you have to take on a new look and a new level of understanding and a new level of compassion and tolerance. If you want to do something, help. You want to make a comment, back it up with some help. You send $10 for, and I'm not asking for money, I'm asking for understanding here, but if you're quick on the draw about criticizing and you want to do something, well, Patch is doing something. He sends us the money and we go out and we buy vitamins and stuff for baby Jane, and we take it round there in full. Oh, that's enough for me. It's turned into a vent, hasn't it? Sorry about that. But it is important to me to see that a child gets help. And there are many children, and we are helping as we can, working with what we've got. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Thanks for listening. If you've managed to stay with me to the end, bye for now.